Hey, what's up guys, it's Leon from Team Disciples, bringing you the combo video from my Mekk-Knight Invoked deck profile that I got top 8 at the UK Nationals this year with. If you haven't seen the deck profile, that's on the channel now, so go and check that out and then come back and watch this video. I'll leave a link in the description. So I'm just going to go through a series of simplified combos to put 8,000 plus damage on the board using Alistair and the different extenders that we play in the deck. Show the basic interaction Alistair has with each of these different engines. And then we'll go through the Tri-Gate Wizard OTK, a couple variations of that, just to show how all these engines work together to contribute to your link/fusion spamming plays. So yeah, let's get into it. So for the first combo, it's Alistair plus a Mekk-Knight and a card to discard. For all these combos, we're going to assume that our opponent only controls one card, which is an extra deck monster that's in this extra monster zone, and they have no other forms of interruption. So to start with, we're going to normal summon Alistair. Use this effect to search invocation, and then we're going to set the invocation opposite the monster and special summon the Mekk-Knight using this effect to search a purple Nightfall. Then we can link the Alistair and the Mekk-Knight into our Alistair link. Then we special summon the purple, use this effect, banishing itself to search us Indigo Eclipse, and then we can special summon the Indigo Eclipse. And then we'll activate the invocation, banishing the blue and the Alistair to summon a Mekk-Knight. And then we've done a fusion summon, so we'll trigger the Alistair Link's effect, discarding the card in our hand to search us another copy of invocation. And then we can use the invocation's effect in the grave, shuffling it back into the deck to add Alistair back to our hand. And now we have 2, 3, 4 materials to make a link 4. So we'll go into our Broadsword Dragon and then activate invocation, banishing a light and Alistair to bring out our second Mekk-Knight. And so now we have 3,000 plus 2,005 and then use the effect again. So 8,005 or potentially 9,005 damage. And we've also got a monster negate as well. So okay, for the next combo we have Alistair plus Destrudo. So we're going to do normal summon Alistair, use this effect to add invocation to our hand. Then we're going to activate Destrudo, targeting the Alistair, paying half our life points to special summon himself. Then we can synchro into a 7 for Yazi. We use Yazi's effect, targeting himself and their monster, destroying both. And then Yazi's effect will trigger in the graveyard, special summoning a Mare from the deck. Then we can activate Mare's effect to special summon 3 tokens. 1, 2, 3, and then at least reducing this level down to 4. And we can link one of the tokens away into Link Karibo, and then the other 2 away into Security Dragon. Assuming they had another monster, you could bounce another monster with Security Dragon's effect since it's co-linked. But we'll just link those away since we've got 4 link materials into our Broadsword Dragon. And then we can activate the invocation, banishing the Alistair and the Security Dragon, which is our light, to fusion summon, invoke Mekk-Knight, and then we can activate invocation engrave to add back the Alistair to our hand. So we're back where we were before with the same 8-5 damage, Broadsword plus Mekk-Knight, but that only took 2 cards for this one. So now we've got Alistair plus Shaddoll fusion. So we'll start off by summoning Alistair, activating his effect to search invocation, and then we'll activate the Shaddoll fusion, send in Shaddoll Dragon and Trick Clown to the graveyard, special summon Shaddoll Construct, and then we could be in our chain link. So Construct would be chain link 1, Trick Clown chain link 2, and Dragon chain link 3 to pop a back row if they had one. So yeah, pop the back row, special summon the Trick Clown, and then use Construct's effect to send Shaddoll Beast, and then Shaddoll Beast effect will activate to draw us 1 card. So now we can link the Construct and the Alistair away into the Alistair link, and then Construct's effect engrave will activate, and then Shaddoll fusion back to our hand. So now we can activate invocation, banishing the Construct and the Alistair to special summon or invoke Mekk-Knight. And because we fusion summoned, we can trigger the Alistair effect, discarding the card, and add in another copy of invocation to our hand. Then we can use the invocation effect in the graveyard, shuffling it back into the deck, and adding Alistair back to our hand. So now we can activate Alistair's effect, discarding itself to boost Mekk-Knight by 1,000, so now he's at 3,500. And then we can activate instant invocation once again, banishing Alistair and the Shaddoll. So Alistair plus the Dark to summon Invoke Kaliga. and we fusion summon again, so we'll trigger the Alistair Link's effect again, so it's not once per turn. Discard an extra card in our hand and re-add in Invocation back to our hand. And now we've got 2, 3, 4, so we can link these away into our Borrow Sword, and then we can use Invocation once again, banishing the Alistair Link and the Light to bring out the second Mekk-Knight. So as you can see now, we have way more damage than before. We have 3,000, 6,000, 9,000, 5, 12,000 damage on the board from this combo. So you can just see the power of the Shaddolls bring to the deck. So we may not always draw our power cards, so I just wanted to show a simple combo with Alistair plus some of the weaker extenders like Instant Fusion and Indigo Eclipse, just to show that we can still put 8,000 plus damage on board. So to start off with, we'll normal summon Alistair, use this effect, add Invocation to our hand. Then we'll set the Invocation and special summon Indigo Eclipse, and then use those two to link away into our Alistair Link. Next we'll activate the Invocation, banishing our Alistair and our Indigo Eclipse to special summon a Mekk-Knight. And then we'll use the Invocation's effect Engrave, shuffling it back into our deck and adding Alistair back to our hand. Next we'll activate Instant Fusion, special summon Thousand Eyes Restrict. And then because we fusion summoned, we'll trigger our Alistair Link, discarding the Alistair and adding Invocation back to our hand. Then we can use the Thousand Eyes Restricts effect to equip the monster to it, removing the monster from the board, and then linking 2, 3, 4 up into our Borrow Sword Dragon, and then finally activating Invocation, banishing the Mekk-Knight and Alistair in order to special summon the second Mekk-Knight. So here we still have 8,500 damage on board. Slightly weaker since we don't have the Alistair back into our hand, but it's still possible to do it with some of the multiple extender hands. Alright, so it's time to go through the Tri-Gate Wizard OTK. The main cards you'll need is of course Alistair, either Shaddoll Fusion or the Shaddoll, and then another way to get at least 2 monsters onto the board. For this example, we're using Mekk-Knight Blue Sky. So Sky Striker players typically end on Shizuku. And for this combo, the Shizuku's been ego boosted, so it can't be affected by card effects and it can't be destroyed by battle. And of course it's a Shizuku, so it's reducing our monsters by 100 attack for each spell Engrave. So the important thing to know is that this OTK is mainly possible if they have 6 or less spells Engrave. If they have 7 or 8, then you'll need to have an additional Alistair to make up the additional damage. So to start things off, we'll normal summon Alistair, use this effect, add Invocation to our hand, and then we'll activate the Shaddoll Fusion, send in Dragon and Trick Clown to grave to special summon Shaddoll Construct. Then we'll do our chain links, Construct Chain Link 1, Trick Clown Chain Link 2, Dragon Chain Link 3 to pop a back row if they had one. So special summon the Trick Clown, and then Construct will send Shaddoll Beast to grave, and Beast will activate and draw us another card. Then we can set the Invocation opposite the Shizuku and special summon our Mekk-Knight Blue, activate its effect to search us a Mekk-Knight Purple. And then we'll link the Shaddoll Construct and the Alistair to make the Alistair Link, and then use Construct's effect to add back the Shaddoll Fusion to our hand. Okay, so next we can activate the Invocation, banishing Construct and Alistair to summon Invoke Mekk-Knight onto the board, and then we can trigger the Alistair Link's effect because you fusion summon, discarding a card, and add in another copy of Invocation to our hand. Then we can activate the Invocation Engrave, shuffling it back into the deck and adding Alistair back to our hand. And then we can activate Alistair's effect, discarding itself and targeting our Mekk-Knight, boosting it up to 3,500 attack. And then next we can activate Invocation once again, banishing Alistair and the Shaddoll, or just the Dark, to special summon Invoke Kaliga. And then we can trigger the Alistair Link again, discarding the card that we drew, to add Invocation back to our hand. So now we've used our one monster effect for Kaliga, so we have to get it off the board, so we'll link it away with the Mekk-Knight Blue into a Nightmare Phoenix, and then we can set the Invocation once again to special summon our Mekk-Knight Purple, use the effect to banish itself, to add Mekk-Knight Indigo, and then special summon Indigo onto the board. So now we have 2, 3, 4 link materials to break our Borrow Sword Dragon, and then we'll use Invocation, banishing our Indigo and Alistair Link, special summon our second Mekk-Knight. So now we've got Boral Sword, we've got a 3-5 Mekka-Bar, 2-5, and a 19. But this still isn't enough to do the damage over the Eagle boosted Shizuku. So we'll link these two away into our Tri-Gate Wizard, which is now giving our Boral Sword double damage. So now, assuming that they have 6 spells engraved, he'll be at 2-4. When it attacks over the Shizuku, it will gain 750, but the Shizuku won't lose, so it will still be at 15. So it would do 3300 damage over the Shizuku since it's been doubled by Tri-Gate. And then Mekka-Bar will be at 2900 attack, so that will do 1400. And then the second attack will do another 3300, which will be exactly 8000 damage. So there you have the OTK. So I'm going to go through a couple more variations of the combo. So for this one, it's the Shaddoll instead of the Shaddoll Fusion. But in this case, we're going to need another card to discard. So normal summon Alistair, add Invocation. So similar steps to before, but this time we've got the Shaddoll. So we're going to activate the Shaddoll, paying half, and targeting the Alistair. Synchron these into our Yazi. And then using Yazi's effect, target himself and the Shizuku. It will still destroy itself even though Shizuku is not affected. And then its effect engrave will trigger special summoning the Mare from the deck. Then we can activate Mare's effect 3 times, special summoning 3 tokens. Then we can link away 1 token into our Link Karibo, and then use Link Karibo and a token, since this is a water worm, to go into our Alistair Link. And then activate Link Karibo's effect engrave, tributing the last token since they are level 1s, to special summon back the Link Karibo. Then we can set the invocation and special summon the Mekk-Knight Blue using its effect to add purple. And then we link the Link Karibo and the blue away in order to special summon our Nightmare Phoenix. And then we can special summon the purple, use its effect, banishing itself to add Indigo. And then finally special summon the Indigo. Then we activate the invocation, banishing the Mekk-Knight Blue and the Alistair, in order to fusion summon the Mekka-Bar. And because we fusion summoned, we'll discard the card in our hand in order to add another copy of Invocation to our hand. Then we can use the Invocation engrave, shuffling it back into the deck, adding Alistair back to our hand. We can activate Alistair's effect, discarding it, boosting the Mekka-Bar up to 3-5. And then we can activate that copy of... we can activate that copy of Invocation, banishing Alistair and Yazi, in order to put Kliga onto the board. So now we can link 2, 3, 4 into the Boral Sword, and then link the Nightmare Phoenix and the Mare away into our Tri-Gate, getting us back to where it was before, with 3-5 and the Boral Sword doing double damage. So I'm just going to go through one final variation of the combo. This is like with a slightly weaker hand, because we have Instant Fusion rather than Mekk-Knight Blue, and the sequencing changes up quite a bit. This combo will be exact game providing they have 4 or less spells engraved, and if they have more than that, then you'll need an additional Alistair to make up the damage. So we can start things off as usual. Normal summon Alistair, use the effect to add Invocation. Then roll the Shaddoll, target Alistair, paying half our life points, and synchro in into Yazi. Use Yazi's effect, targeting himself and the Shizuku, destroying himself, and for summoning Mare. Then we'll use Mare's effect 3 times, summoning 3 tokens. And then we'll link 1 token away into Link Karibo, and then link the other 2 away into our Security Dragon. And then we'll link the Link Karibo and the Mare away, finally into our Alistair Link. And then we'll activate the invocation, banishing our Alistair and Yazi, in order to make Invoke Kliga. And then we'll activate Invocation Engrave, shuffling it back into our deck, adding Alistair back to our hand. And then next we can activate our Instant Fusion, special summoning 1000 as Restrict, and then using our Alistair Link's effect, discarding the Alistair and adding back the Invocation to our hand. And next we can link away the Kliga and the Security Dragon into the Tri-Gate Wizard, and then activate an Invocation, banishing the Security Dragon and the Alistair in order to special summon Invoke Mekka-Bar. and then triggering our Alistair Link effect again, discarding the card in hand to add a copy of Invocation. And then now we can link 2, 3, 4 into the Borrow Sword, summoning it here so that it's co-linked with the Tri-Gate, and then finally activating Invocation, banishing our Mekka and our Alistair Link to summon our second Mekka. So in this case, the Mekka hasn't been boosted by 1000 by Alistair, so if there are 4 spells engraved, this will be exactly 8000, because this will hit for 3004 because of the double damage, and then this will do the last 600 damage. 3007, sorry, because of the double damage, and then this will hit for the last 600, making it exactly 8000. So there you have it, the final combo. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video and was able to see how these engines interact with the deck and the added power that it brings. Obviously, in a normal match scenario, we'll be playing with a 6-card hand into a board full of interruptions. And if you draw enough of these engines together, you'll have 4 cards to use to like bait the interruptions and then still be able to OTK with your normal 2-card combos. And the Shaddoll and the Shaddoll engines able to remove cards in the process, as well as none of these combos showed Purgatrio, which could obviously attack over big boards and still allow you to OTK and break them. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.